I feel like when someone wants to pick up a hobby and you suggest journaling, they find it almost like intimidating. This exact scenario happened to me at work where one of my friends at work, she was like, I want to pick up a hobby, but I have no idea what to do. And then I was like, oh my God, you should journal. And she kind of gave me this look of like, just because I feel like online, when people talk about journaling, they're like, wake up and do the artist way and write down 3 full pages of your thoughts and and it just can be so overwhelming. But once I explained it to her, like how I journal, then she actually was like, oh my God, I might actually go get a journal and do it because that sounds way easier. So I promise how I do it isn't intense and isn't going to scare you and is easy to keep up with and doesn't really have that many rules. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it like even every week. It's more chill and just less intimidating. First off, I just want to show my favorite journal. This is my first journal, which was the 2024 one. I've done a 2024 journal and a 2025 full journal. And this is my favorite just because it had mostly like junk, like a lot of like junk journaling in there, like collecting random things. So it's so full and I love it. But as I said before, journaling does not have to be so intense and intimidating. So let me tell you how to do it. Okay, so first off, you want to separate your journal into 12 different sections, obviously for the 12 months of the year. And for this journal that I have, the first one I did, it ended up being like 5 pages per month, maybe a little bit extra. And then the second journal I bought, I didn't realize it had way more pages. So I'm actually going to make that one 2025/2026 just because there's so many pages. I can link the ones I got though, or this one at least, because this one's easier to fill up. It's not as many pages. So basically, yeah, you separate it for 5 pages for each month. And then you want the first page on the front side to be your title page, where you can put obviously like January, and then you can do little doodles or just customize it however you like. Like I know the first time I did January, I did this little, like, I think it was like little snowflakes and it was all blue. But how I like to do it is to make each month have like a certain color or theme. Like, of course, like April's more like kind of Easter, like flowers, and then, you know, in the summer it's more beachy ones. You know, you can do whatever. Or February, I did I remember the first time, that was actually my favorite February one I've done so far, which was like little envelopes and just like envelopes and like little like Valentine's themes. But anyway, so the first thing is the title page. And what I like to do also, once the title page is done, I like to go to the end, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th page. And on the back side of the last page for that month, I like to title it and put like my letter to January. And obviously not fill the letter because January hasn't actually happened yet, like when you're filling this out and making it. But you basically have that title, so it designates like, this is the beginning, this is what I'm gonna have at the end, and here are my few pages in between that I need to fill within this month. So then it's kind of designated, you know when it's gonna end, how it starts, like you kind of have it all organized in a sense where you know at the end of the month you're gonna write. It doesn't have to be a crazy letter either. It could be a letter that's like a couple sentences just describing the month and how it was. Like maybe it's not eventful and you're like, oh, like it was an okay month, nothing crazy happened. Or maybe you had an insane month and you have so much to talk about, so you write a long thing. It doesn't have to be like the full page. But basically the pages in between will be like journal prompts or like my favorite songs of the month, or a page for summaries of like your pictures, and like it's your July and you have a bunch of photos, or like just filling it with things that you like. Also, you can do junk journaling, which I said was one of my favorites, and you can just fill in, like I put like quirks and like random things and things I've just collected. Like for example, if you're still like, let's say it's still like January, it's like everything that I collected in January, my photo summary page, maybe a journal prompt of like something I want to improve on, or like goals for the year. Like you can just kind of figure that out in between to just fill it with whatever you like. So essentially, the only rules you have to follow for this type of journaling is you need to make a title page, which also doesn't have to be insane. You could literally just like write January in a color and then have it like that, just so you have the kind of, when you look back and open it, you know like what month you're looking at, instead of being like, I don't know what's going on. So it doesn't have to be a bunch of doodles if you don't want to do it like that. It's just like kind of cute, but it does take up a little bit of time to like make a full like title page. So you don't have to do that, but you need somewhat, even just, January. And then the other rule is just to have that title and to designate you're gonna write a little letter at the end. And then the pages in between are fully up to you. Like, you can do whatever you want. If you feel like junk journaling all of January and you collected so many fun things and that's all you want to do, you can do that. If you feel like just writing and you've had a really emotional or really amazing month, or just have a passion for writing in that month, like, you can make every page just full of writing. Or if you want to do just photos, you want to do a mix of whatever. Maybe you're super into journal prompts and like January, you're like trying to really figure out your life. So you're doing each page like a journal prompt. Like, what's the person like who do I want to be? Or like, how does that person act? And you write down everything, and you just like goals for the year, or like, you know what I mean? You could do full just journal prompts of goals for yourself. That's what I like about it. And that's how, even when I told it to my coworker, I explained it to her, and then she was like, wow, that actually seems like an amazing way to journal. Like, I would really like that. Even though at first her reaction was like, the fuck, like, I'm not doing that. But once you have it in a sense where you don't have to journal every single day, you don't have to journal every single week, you could journal like a few times a month and it will get filled out, because all you have to do is do a little title page, which could take 30 minutes if you're making like it really cute, or you can just write down January. It's not a big deal. And then just writing down the end and filling in between. Like, you realistically need to sit down like maybe 3 times a month to do it. Like, not even. Or you can do it every single week. It depends like how long you want to do it each time. Like, maybe you do it like every Thursday night, you do it for a little bit and it's only like 15 minutes and you just kind of do that gradually and you add on. Or you like to do it more, like where you work on it for like 2 hours at a time. So like you have it, do it less, not as often. But it seriously has no intense rules. I feel like when people talk about journaling a lot online, they talk about like waking up and writing down 3 full pages of your thoughts and brain dumping, and that can feel very intense for someone that doesn't like writing. Like, I'm not a big like I do that sometimes, but like not really. And it doesn't have to be like that, especially when you include like so many different types of journaling. I know at one point at the beginning of my, I guess you could say, like journaling journey, I had like a journal for brain dumping, a journal for this, a journal for like so many different journals for different things, and like none of them ever got filled, none of them ever got finished, because it's so overwhelming. It's like, okay, I made this journal to like be for my random thoughts, and this one's for like dreams, or this one's for random when I wake up and I need to like brain dump, and then this one's for scrapbook. It's just like, whoa, what the fuck's going on? Like, that is way too much. Seriously, if you just do it this way, where you incorporate all the different types of journaling, like there's no necessary like rules. You can do whatever you want. You can fill it, as I said, you can do it a month full of junk journaling and just collecting little things and like writing little things. Like, it doesn't have to be all writing, or it can be all writing. It can be whatever you want. That's why I think it's the best way of doing it, and it's the coolest way of doing it. I don't even know how I got the idea. Like, I probably saw it online, but I honestly can't remember, because I've been already doing it for like 2 years, and now this is my 3rd time doing it. But it's so awesome to look back on. Like, when you just open a random page in here and then just see what you were doing, like here it just says things I want to get better at, and I wrote down a bunch of things and made it look like cute. And I don't know, like you write down, like I just cut out a bunch of my, like, you know, when you get birthday cards and you kind of just keep them in a box, like this time I think it's all my graduation cards, and I like cut them up and like put them in here so I can actually keep them, because like God knows where they're gonna end up if they're just cards, you know what I mean? So this way they're still in here. Like, and this is so random. Like, I didn't even know what to do with the page, so I just wrote down nothing I love more than a handwritten love letter. Like, okay, that's so random. Like, why did I say that? I don't know. But like, this page is just filled with like the covers of like just the envelopes of letters people have given to me. And then this page I just wrote down like one little quote just to fill it up. Like, it doesn't have to be crazy. Like, you can fill it out with whatever you want. Like, I went to the Sabrina Carpenter concert, so then I wrote down like a little thing about it and wrote down a picture, and like, yeah, like it's not that deep. You can do whatever you want, and then that way you feel less pressured to like sit down and do it. Like, you're like, oh my God, I told myself that I would write down like, whoa, I just shook the table, write down 3 pages of like thoughts every morning, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. So if you have no rules and you don't actually have to do it every single week, and you kind of just do whatever you're feeling, like you sit down and you're like, what do I feel like doing? Do I feel like writing something down? Do I feel like putting making a cute picture collage and putting a bunch of doodles and shit on it? Or do I want to just make it simple? Do I want to write down how I'm feeling, or just keep it like, it could be like a mood tracker. You're like, this month I'm feeling happy, this month I feel like shit, this month I'm feeling like nostalgic and weird. Like, who knows? I just think it's so cool to have something to look back on, especially because with these, I forget the name of the brand, but I can link them in the video. But with these journals, they always come with this little, I need to tape this on, but this little kind of sticker thing. So you can put it here. So it says like Anna's Journal 2024. And then I can put them all in a bin, like facing up. So then when I look at it, I can be like, oh, I want to look at 2024. So I just take it out, look at it. And I don't know. I just think the concept is so cool. And having physical things to look back on, like, what am I gonna like look back through my camera roll to find something to show like my children or my niece and nephew, or I don't even know. Like, it's just so cool and so awesome. Like, how cute is that? I'm actually obsessed, and just it just makes you feel so fulfilled that you're like doing something cool. Like, I think this is really cool. But yeah, I really hope that someone can be inspired or entertained by this video, hopefully inspired. But seriously, go get a journal. Like, this is the easiest way to do it. And even though like in 2025 I wasn't like the best at doing it, like sometimes you're not good. Like, there's been times where I've been like, I kind of missed this month, I need to go back and like fill it out quickly. Like, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying that I did it perfectly every single month. There's definitely times where I wrote a title and it was not the right month, and I wrote a note in the corner being like, I know it's the next month, but I'm doing this now because shit hit the fan and I didn't feel like journaling. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to journal all the time. I just think that having no rules makes it easy and simple, and in a way that like doesn't put a lot of pressure on it. So as I'm going back through my pages to see what I want to include in my video, because I'm gonna put little clips like above, I forgot to talk about one of my favorite pages, which is my first solo concert, which was the Day Glow concert in January of 2024. And like, how cute is it that I have this just documented in my journal? Like, the first time I went to a solo concert, like, that's a big thing, and that's so cool and so cute that I have that in there with my little writing and how it was and everything. So I'm gonna throw this little clip in somewhere in the middle, because I cannot not mention this day, because this was one of my favorite days of 2024. I already said this, but I really hope this could be inspiring or entertaining, and I really hope somebody's watching this and buys a journal today, because you should start today and then see how amazing it is to look back on it, because it's so awesome and so beautiful and so amazing, like I just said. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next few days. Bye.